Hi, my name is Jamie Cohen. I am a high school teacher in Toronto, Ontario. My school is called Tannenbaum Chat. My question for you, Sugata, is how do you foster a sense of curiosity in students who are so used to a lecture-based format in which they've had teachers tell them what to think?
My name is Sugata Mitra, and I am a professor of educational technology in the School of Education, Communication and Language Sciences at Newcastle University in England. And I live in this city called Gateshead, which is across the river from Newcastle upon Tyne. My work at the moment is about education, particularly education of children. Although I have no background in education, no formal background in education. My formal background is in theoretical physics, so some distance away from education. But as things would turn out, I have landed myself in an area which seems to be a cross between a certain part of physics and children's education or children's learning. It happened through a series of accidents, really. The first of these was an experiment often called the hole in the wall.
Because there will always be communities with no schools at all, I went in search of the hole in the wall.
I've always said that it's not a question of what the internet will do to India, it's a question of what India will do to the internet. Children love a challenge. Learning how to operate the computer and learning how to use the internet is something that children can do anywhere. If you just put a computer in public, in an open space, then children in the age group of 6 to 12 will learn how to use it on their own, irrespective of what language they speak in, how much schooling they've done, and almost anything that you can measure. The first hole-in-the-wall computer was in New Delhi in 1999, and it was set up in a slum area. Within about 3 months, they learn almost everything there is, including downloading MP3s and graphic equalizers and videos. I asked this child, what is this character? And he didn't know that it was called Mickey Mouse, because he couldn't read. He said, it's a very nice game. It's a rat game. To him, Mickey Mouse was a friendly rat. India has always prized knowledge over many material things. All our entire philosophy is based on the fact that material things have lower value than knowledge.
What kind of job do you want to do?
So, computer engineer.
An engineer?
Computer engineer. Computer engineer.
All three of you, huh?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
We're moving from a world of have and have not to a world of know and know not. And that's going to be a very big difference in the way in which we deal with each other. The equalizing forces will have to change, hopefully from fighting to friendship. Then, when I left it there for further, we discovered that after a while they bump into search engines. Actually, it's even easier today than it was at that time, 16 years ago. They bump into search engines and they find that they can find answers to things just by themselves. I continued to study this and discovered that groups of children left unsupervised with an internet connection can actually learn anything by themselves. Now, naturally, that brings a different question, which is, so then what are schools for? And I think that there is a very simple answer, actually. Up until very recently, if you ran into a problem and you needed to know something in order to solve that problem, you had to know it beforehand. Because, yes, the answer to that problem might have been inside a library somewhere, but you could not have carried the library on your back. So you had to have people who would go through the library, decide a few books that are important, that you may need one day in life, and then spend several years with you to put the contents of those books into your brain, so that, just in case, if you ran across a problem where you needed that book, you did not have to carry it, but you would remember. That situation changed just about a decade and a half ago to a situation where if you have a problem and you need to know something, you can get to know it at the point in time when you need it, because you can now carry all the libraries in the world in your pocket. That difference is, I think, a very important difference for learning and for education. I kept experimenting with this over and over again and found that if we create an environment called a self-organized learning environment, which is unsupervised, which has the internet in it, and if we put children into such an environment, they can quickly grapple with very important, difficult questions. If the questions are interesting, they go really far. And because there is nobody to tell them where to stop, you can have 9-year-olds go right through up to postgraduate university level matter.
What is it like for me to teach in a soul? It's been transformative. The authentic learning that takes place in a soul has helped my students really think about and ask big, meaningful questions. They have gone on an intellectual journey of wonder, and they've answered questions like, what does it mean to be a 21st century hero? How do you know when you've reached enlightenment? And they've also become global citizens because they've reached out and they've learned about other cultures and the articles and the videos and the auditory works that they've researched and looked into. I have students who have never been engaged in a class in a typical lecture format telling me that it was the first time in their lives that they've really felt that they were part of a learning process on an equal level. And what I love about this is there's 100% engagement. The gifted students, as well as students with learning challenges, all seem to be on the same page because they've never felt the freedom to really go off on a quest of learning in this way before. So I want to thank you for transforming my class and for helping me let go of the wheel or let go of control and let my students think on their own. Because good critical thinking and creative thinking skills starts with asking big questions.